it deep! It is out of here! 7:56. Bond stands alone.
17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead.
Washington outside left. Roethlisberger has time. Throws to the back of the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown by Holmes.
Minute remaining, and they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown.
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
Yes. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Taproom Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan. Stacks on Stacks on Stacks. Let's join with my man, Big Ball and Ben Larson. We are early tonight. How you doing tonight, Ben?
Not too bad, man. Enjoying another weird weekend football. Just does not seem to disappoint. Had some crazy games today, crazy upsets, but man, loving life. We got World Series baseball. We got great fights, this weekend live. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Had an awesome college football Saturday. This NFL Sunday, I was telling you and Irving last night, I was like, man, I really don't like this week's slate, dude. Just like a lot of, I didn't really love this slate. I really love the Seahawks -3. That hit. The New York Giants come back to earth a little bit. But I think we're learning, obviously we're in week 7 now, so we're learning a lot about where a lot of these teams are going forward in the season, right? So whether they're going to be contenders or whether they're not really going to be in the playoff hunt. But, there's so much parity, Ben. Like, a lot of these teams are still in the playoff hunt. The Falcons are 3-4, and they're in first place in their division.
Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know if I could even say that I know at this point where a lot of these teams are, because there are so Jekyll and Hyde, even over these 7 games of the season.
Yeah.
Are you getting good quality games? Are you getting, good quality offenses and defenses week in, week out? I don't think we've seen that. And that's a big part of this football season that I haven't seen in a long time, where we are 7 weeks into the season, over a third of the way in, and there's a lot of question marks of teams. Are they good? Will they be able to do anything come playoff time? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's fair. We're gonna get into that momentarily, but it is Sunday.
Yep.
So, you know what that means.
We're drinking beer.
That's right. We are drinking.
Yeah. I got an odd colored one today. So for the Halloween,
I got
spirit. So.
I got a
so for everyone who doesn't know
about
the Sunday show, there we go. So for everyone who doesn't know about the Sunday show, we're going to be really focusing on beer on the show. It's a way that we wanted to start this podcast way back in the day. Now over 2.5 years now. But we wanted to be like we were sitting at a bar drinking beer and talking sports. So we're going to be bringing some beers to the table. We're going to be bringing some, some ideas on what we think is a good beer, what we think is a bad beer, and really want you to go out and check out these beers, check out these breweries, support your brewers and local bottle shops, and just kind of try some new things. So we're going to be reviewing 2 beers a podcast, and then giving a out of 5 ranking, why we like it, why we didn't like it at the end of the show. If you want to try some of these beers, you can definitely go on to Tavour.com, download the Tavour app, and use promo code TAPROOM when signing up, and you'll get $10 off your first purchase of $25 or more. So we're going to start with our first beer of the night. Jordan's got a Halloween theme going on. I don't. I got 2 good beers that I'm really excited for. But Jordan, start it up. What do you got?
I'm drinking one of the infamous Brains.
Oh, there we go. Hell
from Drecker Brewing Company. This one's the blueberry, orange, and guava, the double fruit smoothie sour right here.
Nice.
So I went with the Halloween theme for tonight's show. Obviously, Devil's Night tonight, so we had to go with it. But I mean,
yep.
you've had a few of the Brains. I've had a few of them. Always excellent choice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Always good stuff. So excited to be drinking this one tonight. Excited for the show, man. What are you sipping on?
Yeah. So I'm going back to one that I had a similar one from this brewery. Gosh, probably about a year and a half ago now when they first came out. Absolutely loved them. So when I saw that there was another kind of iteration, another flavor of this, I had to go back to it. And this is Artisanal Brewing Works. They are out of New York. And this is another one of the Warheads Extreme Sours. This is cherry lime. So this is going to be coming in at 5%. I just took my first sip of it, and holy shit, it's sour. So I like what they did with this mix compared to the previous ones. And the previous ones, the lemon was really the only sour one that we had. And when you think of Warheads, you think of that extreme sourness to it. So yep. I'm really glad from that first sip, I got that really good pucker. And at 5%, you can drink these. Probably better for a hot summer day instead of a cold fall night, but it is what it is. I wanted to get this out to you guys.
Hell yeah, man! The other, couple of the other ones were really good. I wasn't too fond of a couple of them, but I mean they're still good nonetheless.
Yep. Exactly.
All right, man. Let's get the show started. So obviously we let off the show kind of talking about like the parity in the league and where the league's at right now. Week 7, we have the Philadelphia Eagles who are undefeated, and that's really what I wanted to talk. I wanted to touch on the NFC first and foremost because I think it is I do think it is the most wide open conference in my opinion. Whereas like I think the Bills and the Chiefs are the two best teams in the AFC, but as far as the NFC, like I know the Eagles are 7-0, Ben, but I'm not even sure they're the best team in the NFC.
No, they remind me of the Yankees. Like how they've got a good record, they're in a good position, but they're not going to do anything in the postseason. I mean, the Yankees even did better in the postseason than I expected them to do, but the weather
saved them, Ben.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think the Eagles are going to have a shot in the playoffs. I mean, we don't really know what this Eagles team is because their schedule is so incredibly easy. I mean, you talk about the best team that they've played against so far, being probably the Vikings in week 2 when the Vikings weren't.
Well, they had
Viking
primetime Kirk Cousins too. We all know how Kirk Cousins plays in the primetime games.
In primetime, yeah, that was a primetime game. Yep. So, but their wins. I mean, I guess last week against the Cowboys was a good win, but it's the Dak-less Cowboys. The Cardinals didn't have their offensive firepowers, and they were hurt when they played them. The Jags are jagging. I mean, they are literally Jags out there.
And if the Cardinals didn't have a backup kicker, they probably win that game, to be honest.
Yeah. The Lions week 1, which was a really close game. Lions have definitely regressed. The Commanders are not a strong team. I mean, I don't see them having a really tough time until they get to the Packers in week going to be, and then you could probably say week 15 against the Cowboys when Dak's back, and we really see what this Cowboys team is. Other than that, one against the Saints. They got the Bears, the Colts, the Commanders, the Titans. Like, these are not really difficult teams.
I'm not sure how good the Packers are.
I can't. Yeah. I think the Packers don't think the Eagles are great.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I mean, I think that's the point about the NFC is like the Eagles are 7-0, right? We could say like, oh, they've only played this quarterback and this quarterback, but that's the thing is like the quarterback play right now is atrocious, dude. Like the teams, I feel is like there's just a middle of the pack of just like mediocre to dog shit teams. And then the Niners, in my opinion, are probably the best team in the NFC when they're fully healthy, but they haven't been fully healthy all season, right? Yeah. So we don't even know what the Niners are going to look like fully healthy. And then as far as like the Cowboys, I think the Cowboys are a great team too. You know, they get Dak back. They look good today, 49-29. You know, they did let the Bears kind of make it interesting at a point in that game, and I thought that was a little bad look on the Cowboys. They had like their worst defensive game of the year, but you know, it's a week to week basis, right? And but I mean, the Giants are fraudulent. We knew that. They lose to the Seahawks. So I mean, we got to give credit to where it's due for the Eagles, but I agree with you. Like, I don't think that they're like, I don't look at them and I'm like, oh man, this is a Super Bowl team for sure. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think they have a nice roster. Jalen Hurts is doing the job. He's getting the job done. But I do agree with you. Like, they haven't played anybody. But that's not their fault. That's not their fault.
Well, you know, I hate to be Homer here about this because I am a Niners fan and I do, you know, I do follow the Niners closer than any other football team in the league. But I think what they did this last week, I guess now it's been 9 days, but by signing CMC has really added, you know, an offensive firepower. We saw what he was able to do today. And is he going to be able to do that day in and day out? No. But this also opens the door for the trade rumors that we've seen in Wilson Jr. And that can bring in another defensive player that can. We are close.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff Wilson Jr., I don't know. I think trading him doesn't necessarily benefit them. I don't think there's any guarantee that they're going to get a defensive player back. We lost Ben there for a second. But I know where he was. I know where he was going with it. He was talking about, you know, trading Jeff Wilson Jr. Maybe they can get something back that can help them now. I'm not necessarily sure that's going to be the case. But I mean, the Niners, when they're healthy, in my opinion, are probably the best roster top to bottom in the NFL. I mean, that defense, in my opinion, is absolutely elite. That defensive front just is ferocious and gets after you. And we saw that today against the Rams. I mean, the Rams just could not stop the Niners front four on defense. Sorry, Ben, we lost you there.
Yeah, Wi-Fi is kicking right now.
We got you back, though. You left off talking about trading Jeff Wilson Jr. And getting something in return. I was just saying that I'm not necessarily sure if they can get something in return to help them this year. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, it doesn't really matter because really where they're going to get better at is getting healthy, right? They're going to get these guys back. They're going to get the Kinlaws back. They're going to obviously they're not going to get a couple of these guys back like Ward, but or I'm sorry, not Ward, but the other safety, the other cornerback. Guy got hurt against the Carolina Panthers. His name Tart. But they're gonna get a lot of these guys back, and we saw today against the Rams, and we've seen when they're healthy, that front four is just, I mean, it's the best defensive line of football. You know what I mean? And I think that's where the Niners' strength is. It's in running the football on offense and playing defense, and rushing the passer. And I think they're very elite at those things, Ben, and I think that's the difference in what, in my opinion, makes them the best team in football when healthy.
Yeah. It's really is going to be an interesting kind of push for that final, you know, that those final few weeks in the NFC, because I mean, I think Seattle, I think I was cut off when I was saying this. I think Seattle's fraudulent at their 5-3. I think the Vikings at the top of their division at 4-4, the Bucks at 3-5. Minnesota is probably the second best team in the NFC here. the Eagles, who knows what they really are. And then Dallas, I see them as being, right there with the Vikings at that second, third level there. So it's going to be a tight race in the NFC for that top, but there's going to be such a huge difference between 3 and 4.
Oh yeah,
maybe 4 and 5.
no, I definitely agree. The Rams, in my opinion, I said it before the season, I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs this year.
Yep.
At this point, they have a chance to make the playoffs just because the NFC is so dreadful. But I mean, that team is just not good. They look old on offense or on defense, and that offensive line is just fucking. They're terrible, dude. They can't fucking stop anything, and they can't run the ball, and that's really where the Rams succeed, is running the football. The Vikings, I'm with you. Like,
and if Stafford's,
well, that's the thing, is Stafford can't be fucking Superman now, and that's what's really killing them.
Yeah, and today, I mean, he goes out at the end of the day. I mean, he came back in and threw, but you could tell he was in pain from that hand injury when he got rolled up on. So
yeah, he never.
Again, that's going to be another thing to watch. His shoulder and his hand now.
Yep. And I agree with you about Minnesota. Like, Minnesota, in my opinion, they're 6-1, but I mean, like, dude, the Cardinals today, like, found every way to lose that game. Like,
yeah,
they had every chance in the world to come back and make it a game, and they just, like, muff punt fucking in the Minnesota gets in the red zone, down 2. And then they have 2 interceptions when driving to either win or tie the game. I mean, it was just nasty stuff by the by the Cardinals, dude. A real sell job going on over there, which is a whole nother story, man. Cliff Kingsbury, he got to go, man. Like, for an offensive coach, for your offense to be this bad is just crazy. And that kind of leads me to the next thing, Ben, and that's the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
So we'll flip over to the AFC here, but the Raiders had a lot of expectations coming into this season. A lot of their fans thought, I mean, their win total was 8.5, so even the market thought they were going to be at least a 9 win team, right? And then, a lot of their fans thought this was a year that they could really contend in that conference and contend in that division. And it hasn't really been the case. They lose 24-0 today to New Orleans. That puts them at 2-5 on the season, or 2-4 on the season. Is it 2-4 or 2-5?
2-5.
2-5. So they're 2-5 on the season now. I mean, what's your thoughts here about the Raiders? A lot of people I see calling for Josh McDaniels' job today.
Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate because that's the easy way out. You got to put some onus on the players, and the big thing that we see is that a lot of the time it's the coaches that have to take that brunt. So it's sad that he has this happening to him, but at the same time, something has to be done because this team is way below expectations. They expected to be competing, like you said, in this division. They do beat the Broncos as a division win here, but the Broncos have been so disappointing as well. So you don't really take that as a big one. You knew you were going to get a win against the Texans, but a hard loss to Kansas City, a huge loss to the Saints, a hard loss against the Titans, a hard loss against the Cardinals, a hard loss against the Chargers. Like, those are 50-50 games that you should at least be winning half of those games, and they've lost every single one.
Yeah. I mean, usually those games usually come back around, but I mean, like, losing 24-0 isn't losing a close game. Like, you couldn't even muster 3 points.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams has 3 yards in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, this is we talked about it before the season started when they hired Josh McDaniel, and then they go out and they trade for Chandler Jones, who I said was washed, and he looks washed, and trade for Devontae Adams. It's like, usually when you get a whole new regime like that, a new GM, a new coach, usually start over. You build from scratch, right? So you trade off the old players, and then you get your guys in. Well, they didn't do that. They did the complete opposite. And I don't think that was to Josh McDaniels' liking per se. I think like he took this job and Mark Davis basically told him, hey, we are going to try and compete next year. You know what I mean? We have Derek Carr. We're going to go out and get Devontae Adams. But the two things they didn't address in this roster, offensive line and defensive secondary.
Yeah.
And it continues to be a problem week in and week out for this team.
Yeah.
And that's why they have lost these close games. I mean, you watch the Cardinals game, they were up 20-0. They lose that game because Kyler was running around fucking, just making incredible plays.
Yeah.
Mahomes does the same thing. We could say the refs kind of screwed him a little bit too, but this team, and now people are calling for Josh McDaniels' head. Like, you're not even giving the guy a chance. Nathaniel Hackett, I get, dude. Like, the Broncos have Super Bowl expectations.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't think those expectations were the same for the Raiders. And if you did have those expectations, you had way too high of expectations.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they had, such high hopes for, the return, of Carr and Devontae being like it was back in college again. And, you got to realize that it's 15 years later now. I mean, I don't know, it's not 15 years later, but, it's a substantial time later. And you're not at playing for a team where you get easy schedules and have a team that's stacked on your side. So, I mean, I think the big problem here is that offensive line. They're giving Carr no time, and he's having to, 1, get hit, 2, be uncomfortable, and 3, run, which I don't see him as being a top level.
I think he's a better athlete than people give him credit for, but that's definitely not where he does his best work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's not what you want Derek Carr doing. But at the same time, I mean, if you look at these teams now, Ben, a running quarterback, it's gonna come to a point soon where you have to have a running quarterback. I mean, look at what Josh Allen did in the first half to the Packers. Like, that's the whole reason. And by the way, the game just ended 27-17.
Yep.
So if you had the under, congratulations. If you had Packers plus 10.5, Mimon's door was wide open, and the Packers came in and backdoored that motherfucker. So congratulations if you had either of those bets. If you had Bills minus 10.5, I'm not sorry for you, because laying 10.5 points in an NFL game is never a very good idea, in my opinion.
I mean, that covers a lot of the games that were played today. So
yeah, that's true. That's fair. But laying it against Aaron Rodgers, I don't know. That's
true.
That's bold. It's very bold.
Yeah.
But back to the Raiders, and kind of the AFC and the grand scheme of the NFL, I do think that we're seeing a shift in style and scheme right now.
Yeah.
We saw the days of the quarterback where the quarterback could like lead you to win by throwing the ball. And now you're seeing these defensive schemes that are just totally shutting down the passing game, and it's forcing teams to run the ball. And if you have a running quarterback like a Josh Allen, it just totally changes everything that you can call. Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, these quarterbacks are the quarterbacks that they're looking more promising this year, right?
Yeah.
So I think we're seeing a stylistic change, Ben. There was once a time where you never wanted your quarterback to run. If your quarterback was running, it means you couldn't throw the ball.
Yeah.
And I think those times are just changing.
Yeah. It really is a new style of football. And I mean, I personally like it. It adds more of a dynamic aspect to the game. So,
yep. What's 3 big surprises for you today?
3 big surprises for today.
I know I put you on the spot there.
Okay, so the first is not going to be today. The first is going to be Thursday, where we had the Ravens flip-flop of what they do best, and that's not scoring in the second half, and they put up 24 points in the second half, only 3 in the first half. And Tom Brady, man, another disappointing loss. In a game that they could have. I mean, they could have.
They led 10-0.
Won that game. What's that?
They led 10-0 in that game.
Yep, they led 10-0. Didn't score anything in the second and third quarter. You cannot go half a game without scoring a point. So that's going to be my first one there. Second one of the day, we're going to go with the Dolphins comeback. I thought that was, Lions were up
14-0.
14-7. Then they put up another touchdown to make it 21-7 before the Dolphins really kind of, came back in the second and third there. So I thought that was a big, big day. And we'll go with, oh man, let's see. I guess the last one we will put it as, the Raiders not putting up a single point on Saints.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
That is pretty bad. My first biggest surprise is, how about those Falcons, man? How about those first place NFC South Falcons? That was a hell of a game, dude. The Panthers probably should have won. DJ Moore catches a fucking 64-yard Hail Mary with 12 seconds left on the clock, takes off his helmet, pushes the fucking extra point back, and the kicker misses the game-winning extra point, goes into overtime, extra innings, I almost said, goes into overtime, and Falcons end up winning, and the kicker missed the game-winning kick in overtime, too. They had a chance to win. So, oh my God.
Races out.
Hell of a good game. Also goes to show you the Panthers are playing much better under Steve Wilkes than they were with Matt Rule. So it kind of goes to show you, like, he did really lose that locker room. And PJ Walker, I definitely think can be a starter in this league here. My second biggest surprise is the Seahawks just continue to win. You know what I mean? And Pete Carroll, coach of the year candidate, and it has to be recognized now. This is a team that everybody thought was going to be, in the running for the top draft pick. Right now, they're in first place in their division. No, I do not expect them to finish there. But Geno Smith looks very competent, and that defense has gotten better every single week. You know,
I think you put it best there. Geno Smith looks very competent. He's not great, but he's playing competently.
He's playing like a Pro Bowl quarterback, like an All-Pro quarterback, and that's competent. Now, how long is that going to last? I don't know. Yeah. So it looks good now, and if he continues to do it, sky's the limit for Seattle.
Yep.
Because they can run the ball very well. Kenneth Walker, another phenomenal game this week. Third biggest surprise, I'm probably gonna go with. I wouldn't say it's a surprise, but the Texans, man, they're bad, dude.
Yeah,
they are very bad. Malik Willis makes his first start. Tennessee, they didn't. If you watch the game, it didn't really feel like they dominated the game, but they dominated the game. Houston cannot stop the run, dude.
That's the big thing. Derrick Henry ran all over.
This is 2 weeks in a row where they've given up over 200 yards rushing, dude. So that's something to look for going forward. But obviously, we thought Houston was going to be here, but I'd honestly be shocked if they kept Lovie Smith after this season. Mm-hmm. And obviously they're going to have a new quarterback. I don't think Davis Mills is the answer, dude. I think they tried and it's just not there. He's looked good at times, but he looks really bad at times too. And I think that's an issue.
Yeah. And they're probably going to have number 1 pick.
Yeah. Right now they're definitely the worst team in my opinion, for sure. Yeah. They're up there. The Jags are up there too. Trevor Lawrence, at some point we have to start a conversation, Ben, if Trevor Lawrence is the guy, because he cost his team the game today in London.
I did not watch that game. That was too early for me.
Dude, your boy stayed up till midnight watching the Hawaii game and then woke up at 6:30 to watch the London game.
Pass.
It's called that's passion. That's dedication right there.
There we go.
And on top of that, I didn't even bet on the Jaguars-Broncos game. I just watched it.
Yeah.
I won't lie, though. I fell asleep like 2 times.
Not for long, though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I fell asleep in like the first quarter, and I woke up at halftime. Yeah, I was like, "Oh, it's 10-0, okay."
18 for, I mean, yeah, 18 for 31, 133 yards, 2 picks and a touchdown, sacked twice. Yikes. Yeah, 4.3 average compared to Russell's 8.4. I mean, Russell only had 18. He was 18 for 30. Trevor Lawrence was 18 for 31.
I mean, Russell Wilson had a lot better preparation because he was on the airplane working out and shit.
Yeah.
Studying film.
Doing his squats and his leg lifts, yeah.
Knee highs, dude.
Knee highs, that's what it was, yeah.
Can you picture that, motherfucker? You're trying to sleep on a fucking airplane, motherfucker coming running by you and doing knee highs. Like, bro, go to sleep, dog.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how corny Russell Wilson is for a second?
Let's do it.
He's a cornball, dude. Like, he always has been, but now it's like, now people are actually starting to realize it. Like, with this whole Mr. Unlimited thing.
Yeah.
Mr. Unlimited, you know what I mean? Like, dude, the guy's a fucking cornball.
And then what was his other one that he did the beginning of the at the beginning of the year?
Broncos country. Let's ride.
Let's ride.
Let's ride. Yeah. Now I think he's just doing it to troll, to be honest.
Probably.
He's a character, bro. But Tyler Lockett actually said something interesting after the Seahawks game today. He said it's a lot easier to go out there and compete when you don't have guys in your locker room that want all the attention or want all the I don't know the exact quote, but it was like that aren't looking for all the success, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he was necessarily taking a shot just at Russ. I think he was also taking a shot at the Legion of Boom. Yeah. Because remember in those Seattle days, it was like Legion of Boom wanted all the fucking credit, and like there was all these like backstories of Russ versus Legion of Boom and stuff.
Yeah.
So interesting stuff though, right?
No, absolutely. Yep.
Because I mean, it is no coincidence, dude. Russ did look washed last year and a half, and now
he really did. Yep.
Now Seattle looks good, and Denver's out here struggling with Nathaniel can't hack it.
Well, but what about what about the offensive line of the Seahawks? Did that improve this year?
For sure. I mean, they drafted two offensive linemen,
and you've got Geno Smith, who's a little bit more mobile than than
at this point
what we saw last. Yeah, at this point, than what we saw last year. So,
but remember, Russ was going to Denver, who had a lot better talent, right?
It's true.
So I don't want to hear any excuses. I said that at the beginning of the year. I said, I don't want to hear no excuses, and Russ has everything he needs, so I don't want to hear no excuses.
Yep.
And Geno looks better. A lot better.
Yeah.
Denver would have been better off trading for Geno Smith, and the Colts would have been better off not trading for Matt Ryan and just signing Mariota as a free agent.
It's true.
Look at that. Do you want to take a break and then hop back in here and do Monday Night Football, or you want to do Monday Night Football real quick?
Let's go Monday Night Football really quick. I still have a little bit of beer. Or are you done with your beer?
No, I still got a little bit.
Okay.
This shit tastes like a fucking smoothie though, so it's like really fucking easy to drink.
Yeah.
All right, so we got the Bengals at the Browns tomorrow. Obviously no Jamar Chase, so keep that in mind. Cincinnati 4-3 straight up, 5-2 against the spread, 2-5 to the over. Cleveland's 2-5 straight up, 3-4 against the spread, 5-2 to the over. Right now, Cincinnati's laying 3 on the road at Cleveland. I know Cleveland's record is 2-5, but they could very well be 4-3 too. Yeah. So like, they've had a lot of games not go their way, and a lot of bad coaching too. Which I mean, you can't really fucking.
Yeah, you can't really pin that on.
Yeah, so
the players there.
What do you think about this game? What's your initial thought?
My initial thought is both of these teams are beat up. They've got a lot of injuries on both sides, which I think can really affect the outcome of this game. I think for the Bengals, having Jamar Chase is a huge hit to their offense. I mean, his speed alone opens up Higgins and allows for that dual threat down the field with Burrow. And yes, they've got Mixon, and he's been playing well. I don't think he has been playing as good as he has last season when they took their run. So I mean, I really don't think the whole this whole offense has played as well as they did last year when they took their run. So
they can't run the ball.
They can't. And with Burrow having Chase out, and isn't there a tight end out too?
Probably, but I mean that's not going to affect the line as much as like a Jamar Chase is.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Drew Sample out indefinitely. Who is there? Clark Harris out indefinitely. So like, having these, major offensive injuries, I think that's going to play a huge issue with that. And then I just don't think Cleveland, they've got some injuries as well, but I just don't think that they're going to be able to put up the points on this defense. So initially, my pick is the under here. It's sitting at 45. I think we can, look at that being, into play. Picking a side at 3. I mean, I don't like either, to be honest.
This is the thing with this game is that the Browns have been atrocious defensively basically all year, but they're coming off their best defensive game of the year last week against Baltimore.
Yeah.
I mean, they really stifled that Baltimore offense, only allowed 23 points. And the thing is like Cincinnati can't run the ball. They can't run the ball against anybody.
Yeah.
Like, they just haven't been able to do it. And I think that really affects what they're going to be able to do because now you have Jamar Chase out too.
Yeah.
Right? So, Baltimore, and I'm not saying Cleveland's great against a pass by any stretch of the imagination, but they were good against a pass against Baltimore last week.
Yeah.
So maybe that's some improvement going forward because, they could improve, right?
Yeah.
And they can't stop the run, but Cincinnati can't run it.
Yeah.
So I think that could be a little cause for concern. I think personally I would take the 3 points at home.
Yeah.
I don't think that Cincy should be laying these points right here. I think Cincy's a good team. Don't get me wrong. I think they're a good team. May even win this game. But I got to play the number here. I got to take the points. Like, I just don't think that Cincinnati is worthy to be laying 3 points on the road, given their situation that they can't run the ball and they have Jamar Chase out.
Yeah, and that's on a neutral field, saying that they're a 6-point better team, and I just don't know if they're a 6-point better team with the injuries that they have.
Yeah, and against the rush, I mean, Cincinnati defensively 6 DVOA, but they're 10th against the rush, 6th against the pass. Well, Baltimore, Cleveland, I don't know why I keep saying Baltimore. Cleveland, all they want to do is run the ball.
Yeah.
Right? And they run the ball against anybody. It doesn't matter how good you are defensively. They run the ball against everybody.
Okay, what about a report that came out saying that Hunt is on the trade block?
Yeah,
do you think that's gonna light a fire under him, or do you think that's going to put up a big kind of roadblock for
him? I don't know, but I mean, they still have Chubb, you know what I mean? And Chubb is the engine that keeps going. So I just don't know. And it's supposed to rain tomorrow night, Ben.
I don't see rain. I see cloudy at 49. It's gonna be cold.
I'm seeing 76% chance of precipitation.
Okay.
58 degrees, 90% humidity. This could also be right now. I don't know.
Hold on, I'm looking at game time weather for tomorrow. What time does the game start there? 7, 8?
8. What are they? 3 hours ahead? They're 3 hours ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, Ohio 3 hours ahead. Actually says tomorrow game time weather at 8 o'clock is 57, 0% chance of rain.
Okay, so I'm definitely looking at hour by hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I usually would take the under here, but I'm gonna take the points. I'm gonna take Cleveland +3.
Okay. I mean, I don't disregard that at all. I think that's the better bet of the two. I just don't like it. Like, don't feel confident with it. So I'm gonna go with the under.
I feel it. I mean, it's never really a confident play when you're back in fucking Kevin Stefanski right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Bro
that's really true.
Bro has been he's made some very interesting and questionable coaching decisions these last few weeks, which makes it a little difficult backing in. And you know, that's another thing is like if you don't like something, you don't necessarily have to play it. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to make a bet every day, right?
Yep.
If you want a little bit of action just to like keep yourself sweating while watching it, you know, throw like $10 on it, but don't go big, don't go crazy. You know what I mean? Like if you don't like
something, your in-game bets.
Yeah, or play it in game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Especially, I don't really like to play teams in game unless there's like a team that I absolutely think is gonna win beforehand, and they start off a little slow. Then you get better value taking them in game.
Yep.
But sometimes taking in game teams, because football's such a game of fucking like, dude.
Oh, yeah.
What's happening in one drive, it just totally changes, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy. All right, let's take a quick break right here, and then we'll hop back in here, and we'll talk some World Series baseball, man.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll be right back. Stay locked with us. All right. We are back. Thank you for staying locked with us. Had to reload on some brewski. Take a little break real quick. Irvin texted me while we were in the break because when CMC got traded, I was like, now we're gonna see if Christian McCaffrey was washed or if it was just the Panthers. And he texted me and he said, well, CMC's not washed. And I was like, well, the Panthers look better without him too, so there's that. I don't know which is which.
I think getting him into a offense with a, where he doesn't have to be the star running back and wide receiver is
today he was a star running back, wide receiver, and quarterback.
Yeah. But all the onus isn't on him, which is what I think the problem was with with him in Carolina. So I think it's a good fit. I'm excited for what this holds for the Niners moving forward. I think it's something that we needed, in just again to push that dynamic offense that is a little stagnant with with Jimmy G.
Yeah, I also think a lot of the Niners offensive problems have been because Jimmy didn't practice all summer.
No, absolutely.
And you just like, he didn't even have a playbook.
Yeah.
So you throw him in there and you expect him just to like be like great. I mean, he's not great to begin with, but he's always won. You know what I mean? You can't take that away from him.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you just throw him out there and everyone's like, well, he looks like looks like shit. Like, no shit, dude. He hasn't practiced all summer.
Oh, absolutely.
So he's got to get up to game speed.
I'm just waiting for him to regress to normal Jimmy.
He's playing worse than he ever has, and that's why they've lost 2 games. You know what I mean? Well, plus they're injured on defense, but I don't know, man. Like, dude, I don't think Jimmy's the greatest quarterback, but you can't take away, like, the guy just somehow is able, like, he's a great leader. He's somehow able to, like, rally the guys around him and shit.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible.
And again, I don't think he's that bad of a QB. He's just made of glass, which is the problem.
Yeah. He made a couple bad throws though too.
Yeah.
All right, Ben. We got the lineup for the baseball game, MLB for the World Series game tomorrow.
Yeah, McCullers versus Syndergaard.
Oof, Syndergaard, man.
Yeah.
What do you think about this game here? What's the line?
See, line is Houston minus 135, Philly plus 115, over under of 8, keeps moving on up.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was nice. In these last 2 games, we definitely called over under on the first 2. I was really unfortunate to not get my bet in on time, because I was traveling a little bit yesterday, and just missed game time. And by the time I turned on the game, it was 3-0. So over under popped up to 8.5, which was rough.
I would have hit that under fucking quickly.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the way these 2 games have played out? Obviously, game 1, Houston goes up 5-0. The Phillies battle back and are able to win the game.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this one?
I mean, game 1 was interesting. To be honest, I thought this was going to be a turning point in the series, and that the Phillies were going to really kind of take this into their hands. And we didn't necessarily see that in game 2. Astros came out strong again to really kind of prove like, hey, we are, in my opinion, the best team in baseball. And we're going to be pushing this hard. I think the Phillies are playing that Cinderella story, like they've played all year since the firing of their coach. And they're playing really well. They've got a great lineup. I mean, you've mentioned it to me. I think it was after game 1, is that this is like the San Francisco Giants when they won the World Series. It's a band of misfits coming together, playing well and complementing each other really well. I just don't know if they have enough to beat Houston.
Well, Houston's a better team without a doubt.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. There's no way around that. And you see it in game 3. I mean, the Phillies are out here throwing Syndergaard against McCullers. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, if you were to tell me a team whose third best pitcher was Noah Syndergaard in 2022 was going to make the World Series, I would have said that's absolutely fucking crazy, dude. You know what I mean? And the Phillies, dude, they had the worst bullpen all season. Here they are. Pays is making an appearance here.
There we go. Always love it.
We're live on here, Pays.
Hey.
Yeah,
I mean, it's she's gonna be pressing all of our sound buttons. I love it.
Go see mom.
Love it. I mean, I think the Phillies definitely have the chance to win it, but it is going to take that miracle, which does happen in the playoffs, but it's just not. I just don't think it's going to happen with this lineup. Schwarber's playing out of his mind. Realmuto had that huge homer. Harper is wonderful. It's just he's such a douchebag though. Bohm not playing up to expectations. I think he'll get better as time goes. I just don't think this is the year for the Phillies. I didn't think they'd be able to get here either. So
they might not have been able to get here, but they're here. You know what I mean?
But they're here. Yeah.
If you were to tell me that they were gonna be here, I would have said that you're fucking crazy, dude. If you told me this during our MLB show and you told me the Phillies were gonna be in the World Series, I would have said, dude, how? Dude, they have the worst bullpen. They have, outside of Wheeler and Nola, they have dog shit starting pitching. And honestly, both Nola and Wheeler were bad, and they still managed to win a game, dude.
Yeah.
They haven't lost a game at home. I don't know, Ben. I'm very hesitant to put money on Noah Syndergaard. I don't know. I don't think I'll bet this game tomorrow. I obviously have the Phillies to win the World Series, and I have them to win in 6, and I had them to win in 4, which would have been really profitable, but obviously it was a super long shot.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, they're having a historic season. Again, I just don't think it's enough to beat Houston because Houston is just a great
they're a
team.
juggernaut.
I mean, yeah. I mean, looking at Philly beating Atlanta, I mean, beating the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals should have won that series. But they did it in a sweep. They went in and beat Atlanta 3-1. Again, I thought Atlanta should have won that, but they decisively won that series. Then to go into San Diego, I thought San Diego had more offensive firepower. They should have won it.
Better
They won
starting pitching.
4-1 there.
Yep.
And and then I'm like, okay, well, what has Houston done? Well, Houston swept New York. Houston swept Seattle.
Yep.
So, I mean, obviously, we're tied 1-1. It's not going to be a sweep here, but they're I hate to say it because there's still a couple cheaters on the team, but they're a really fun team to watch. I love watching Pena. I love watching Jordan. Like those two young kids, and I think that's the biggest part is they are young. They're going to be the face of this franchise for a long time. Kyle Tucker, like they're just fun players to watch, offensively and defensively. So
I do think if there was if you're backing Philly, the one thing to like hang your hat on is that the Phillies have had to use their high leverage relievers 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
The Astros did. The Phillies didn't have to use them in game 2, so they get 2 days of rest. Whereas the top 3 Astros relievers have been used 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
It's the World Series. I mean, they're going to get used every game, right?
Yeah.
But the Phillies, in game 2, they had their chances, dude. They went 2 for, I think it was 2 for 15 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, it was 2 for 15 or 2 for 17, something like that.
Yeah. 18 players left on base.
Yeah, and that was really what killed them, and that's what they've been doing well all postseason. I think they can win this series, dude. I mean, there's just something special about this team, bro. And honestly, and Schwarber missed a fucking 2-run home run by
oh my god,
30
and then he
inches,
hits it
dude,
straight to the wall. Not the next pitch, but the pitch after.
The very next pitch.
Oh my god, that was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It was the very next pitch. Okay.
Yeah. He just missed it, dude. He just missed it. So, are the Phillies going to go 2 for 17 again with runners in scoring position? I doubt it. They just got to keep doing what they've been doing, man. Just score runs, and just your your high leverage guys have been very good all postseason. I mean, even their low leverage guys were good last game. Yeah. So they just got to keep doing what they've been doing. I think they'll be all right. I do like the Phillies to win this series. Obviously, I'm hoping for them to win for my financial benefit, but I do agree with you. The Astros are definitely the better team, and they're favored for that reason. You know what I mean? So we'll see. All right, should we get some best bets in, or a best bet?
Yeah.
You got some hockey for us, Ben?
I got to. I don't have hockey. I had been out of the house, and it was kind of moving back into the house today. After a week back at the parental's house, watching the puppy and in the house while they were on vacation. So I did not. It was moving.
Oh shit! The Lakers won. The Lakers just won.
So, oh wow, 1-6, 1-5.
Yeah, 1-5, man. The Nuggets are sorry for losing to these bums.
All right, let me see if I can. Well, there's only 3 games tomorrow.
Let's go, y'all.
All right, we like anything for tomorrow.
I do like the Hurricanes over the Capitals. Man, not at -190 there. I don't think that's good value whatsoever. Let's see. Let's go Kings over the Blues. I think the Kings can definitely take the Blues. Jonathan Quick has been playing fairly well during his time. He doesn't have a good goals against average, but he's been playing difficult teams here. LA is scoring a lot of goals at 3.5 goals per game compared to St. Louis's 2.57. So as long as Quick can, play a little bit better, and net defense can kind of push that, be a big thing here. So I think you can definitely look at LA taking this one, and they're going to be favored here. So it's probably going to be plus 105, plus 110 here if you're taking LA. So I think that's a good bet. I also like the under for the football game, Monday Night Football with Cincinnati and Cleveland here. And I am going to go. I think Houston offensively is just a better power in this. I think he hasn't played in the series, or first round of the playoffs, but he did pitch well in that game. So let's take Astros minus a half a run for first 5. Come on.
That's bold. All right, I like I'm gonna go Browns plus 3.5, which you can find at WinBet or at FanDuel right now. It's plus 3 everywhere else, so if you can get those 3.5s, I think that's a solid bet. I'd also take it at plus 3. Like I said before, Cincinnati, they're pretty banged up. They can't run the ball very well, which I think is going to be an issue. Plus, the Browns are able to run the ball against everyone. 3 points at home, Monday Night Football division game. Give me the Browns plus 3, 3.5, and let's go. Let's get it.
Oh yeah,
let's get it.
All right, so we didn't talk about our second beer when we after we came back from our break. So let's talk about both of our beers really quick. Give a little intro on your second beer and a score when you get to that one.
So this is the Skygazer Brewing Company. It's a part of their watercolor series. It's the Spooky Fruits 1. It's a sour ale with watermelon, mango, banana, guava, marshmallow, and milk sugar.
Damn.
And this one's really good, dude. It's really fucking thick though, dude. It's like a fucking smoothie.
Oh yeah. Damn, 2 smoothies today. Okay. What's your out of 5s on each of them?
So the Brains, I'm gonna go 4, 5 out of 5. It was good.
Okay.
Fruity. Love the flavors of it. Sour, not too sour, easily drinkable. The watercolors, I get a lot of banana out of it. Like overly obnoxious, over too much banana.
Okay.
For that, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
It's good,
really
just
good.
very banana-y. Banana-y. You know what I mean?
There we go. All right, so I'm going to start with my second beer, and this was the Sierra Nevada Celebration. So it is the first week that this is out on the shelves. Great beer. I hated it when I started drinking because this was, it was a little too dark for me when I'm thinking IPA. So this coming in at 6.8%. It's definitely one that, because of the kind of the burntness of this beer, is not your typical IPA, but it is a really, really tasty beer that I really like now. This year's iteration of it, I think, is not as good as last year's, but it is still a very, very good beer. And we only went for a little bit, and I'm already halfway done with this one. And I'm going to give this one a 4.5 out of 5 because it still is in the IPA kind of category. So there are definitely better IPAs that I've had before, but very good beer. This artisanal brew, this was the extreme sour. This was the cherry lime. I'm going to give this one a 4.95 out of 5. This was one of my favorite sours that I've had in a long, long time. This is one that really hits that warhead right on the head of the nail. So really sour, really puckery from start to finish. At that 5%, it's a beer that you can drink, and it is a absolutely great taste with the cherry and lime together. I think they really hit this one out of the park. So 4.95 out of 5.
Cherry and lime complement each other like Kanye and craziness.
Oh, Kanye. Get on those meds, bro. All right, so that was the podcast. Thank you, everybody out there, for listening. This was the beer and sports aspect of our, our weekly show. Make sure to check out Jordan and Urban tomorrow as they talk what happened in the college football world, and they'll also be talking about what happened on Monday Night Football tomorrow. And then Jordan and I will be back most likely with Urban on Tuesday to be talking about Week 9 of the NFL season. We're moving quick through this. Week 9, Week 8, Week 9. Week 9. Yep. So we're definitely going to be breaking down each and every. We'll be talking about a lot of the games, from this week. And then on Wednesday, you're going to have Jordan and Urban talking about college football upcoming, and telling their best bets, top 25s, and really kind of pushing into the college football season as we get closer to the playoffs, man. It's going to be an interesting year.
Yes, sir.
But I'm Big Ball and Ben Larson here for Jordan. Stacks on stacks on stacks less. We will see y'all tomorrow.
Yes, sir.